I've got the mobile and the laptop, and I'll tell you when to switch to which one. But
Okay.
leave it on the big screen, the mobile screen.
Second.
Thanks, man.
Okay.
So, good morning, everybody, for another Saturday morning. We're going to be doing the first Kumitachi, but let's start by bowing in properly. So, ready? Let's do a little bit of warming up first. I'm going to put the book on the side. Put your feet slightly wider, stretch up, back, and then go forward. And do this at your own pace. Follow your breath. When you roll back up, really roll your spine gently. Okay, last time. Okay, up straight. Stretch up. Oh, and over. Lot of morning cracks in my leg. Other way around. Up. Oh, and over. Up. And over. Up. And over. Last time. Up. And over. Up. And over. Okay. Now the shoulders, roll them from front to back. So really make them big rotations, as big as you can make them. There, do it slow. Try to find how big you can make them. Take it from the front to the back. The other way around, so now from the back to the front. And really let your whole upper torso work with it. Okay. Now, feet a little bit wider again. Let your arms just relax. You start to rotate your body. Let your arms just swing. When you do it, look over your shoulder when you're at the far reach of the turn, so that your neck is part of the spiral. Okay, back to the middle. Now your hips, big rotations. So while you do this, keep your feet flat on the floor and your knees are relaxed. They're allowed to bend as you make the rotation. That's weird.
Hello.
Okay, feet a little bit closer together. Now don't make them too big, with small rotations in the knees. Change direction. Okay, you stretch the knees or stretch the legs. Here. And bend. And stretch. And bend. Once more stretch. Okay, feet apart. Now come down and sit with your toe up. And feel the stretch on the inside of the leg. Change sides. Change sides. Change sides. Yeah, okay, and get back up again. Now, last part is the neck. So go back to the front and keep your shoulders low. Don't lift them up as you do the exercise, just let your arms hanging. Okay. Now do left and right. And while you're busy on your head, feel that you're really heavy from the waist down onto the ground. So don't start floating. Ears to your shoulders. And now big rotation. Go from left to right. Try to avoid going all the way around the back. Okay, now the last part. Jumping, and you're not jumping up. It's about a landing every time. Really strange on video, I see it. Relax your arms, relax your shoulders. Settle into the ground. Okay, with the bokken. Grab a bokken. We start with first suburi. Typical for bokken classes. And pay from the beginning already attention to what you're doing with your feet. So your feet should be relaxed, should be calm. No extra movements. And they should be like sponges, like almost flat onto the ground. Your knees slightly bendy. Not super bent, because then your knees are taking a lot of your weight, but not straight either. Just in between somewhere. So from there, first suburi. Do this at your own pace, but do it slow. Don't put any force into the strike. Onegaishimasu. Okay, 2 points for what you do with the arms, and it is this. It has to do with the grip on the can. When it's too strong, when you don't allow it to move when you move back, you get the feeling that you get kind of stuck here, and either your arms go very far to the back. You see that my elbows have passed my face now, or you start to move your head forward in order to allow them to reach the back. But your hands can be flexible. They're only solid in the strike. But the moment you start moving, and they're flexible, they're soft on the bokken. So when you move back, here, your hand allow freedom in the grip. So I don't hold on to them tight, because it happens in my whole arm and my shoulder, but they're allowed to go here. And then when you make the strike, it gets solid again. So when you bring it up, allow the hands to soften up a bit so that you can keep your spine, head straight, and also your head straight. So that you don't have to bend under the bokken, or that your arms get pulled all the way to the back. You see what I'm doing? So relax the hands in the strike. Here. Orange ones. Okay, now we'll move on to the next exercise because I want to move into the first Kumitachi. So we need the fifth suburi. The first one, the first suburi, is really a show manuchi where you cut straight down. And your hips are rather square. The stance is a bit shorter. The moment that you go into fifth suburi, that you go into yoko manuchi, your footwork gets wider and the bottom is angled. You can see that it runs by my hip. It's not in front of me, it's running by me. There. Now shift to fifth suburi. We'll be looking at the footwork later on, but for now, just do the form with the relaxed hands. Solid ending. And again, keep the power out. Onegaishimasu. Can you switch to the footwork, Michael?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yes. So, what I just said, keep your feet relaxed, and don't try to make any extra movements. So when you move from, in this case, Hanmi, into the fifth Savasana, you just roll over your front foot, you plant your feet. You stay in Hanmi. You roll your feet, you roll over your front foot. There. So in this case, you're weaving the line just a little bit because it's suburi. Once you go into partner exercise, it's getting bigger. And so from the side, you can just see my knee in the screen. I'll move back a little bit there. It's really, it's a combination between the pressure of the front foot and the knee that allows there. There. Your feet should be calm. So you go from a solid position to a solid position. Try to avoid things where you, for instance, move a little bit before you go. When you move before you go. Shouldn't be in there. Just your front foot solid onto the ground, move over, other side. Front foot on the ground, move over, there. And every time you move into Hanmi. Onegaishimasu. Hi, Michael. Very nice. So now, what the bokken does, let me put you on there. The both hands, front hand and the back hand, have a different function. When you're looking for the alignment of the bokken in the turn, your front hand stays on your center line. So whenever you move, in this case, you move here, it stays on the center line. You cut, and it's still on the center line towards the partner. Your left hand, because it has to make the rotation, is making a much bigger move. It goes more left and right. So every time you make a turn, your right hand comes basically above your forehead here. There. Also, when you go the other way around, your right hand goes onto the center line and cuts down. Your left hand obviously goes way off, goes way up. It goes here. Go here. Right hand is on the center line, left hand goes off and cut. The tip of your can, don't let it drop, because then your whole system is kind of out of whack. The moment when you start moving, the back hip moves forward and it pushes the back hand, in this case it's all left, it pushes it forward into the cut. There. So this side only because it's more clear, but this, the moment you move in, your hand moves with it and it drives the can there. So try to find that connection. So depending on what you're working on, one is, don't let this one drop all the way to the side because it's too slow a movement and your whole alignment is gone. Try to keep it on the center, but it's a circular strike. You see that the bokken makes a swing. And for the ones who are a bit further, make sure you really feel that your body, that your whole system drives the can forward into the strike. Angeles mas.
That's
Ja, goed. Dankjewel. Very nice. Looking at all the images, it looks very good. So this exercise, the fifth subori, is the basis of basically all the Kumitachi. It's in all of them. So if this is an exercise, if you take the first subori as one exercise to teach your body how to move with your ken, and then this exercise is preparation on partner exercise, it's excellent to do at home because you can do it unlimited and it really builds your ability. Now I'm going to move to the first Kumitachi. And to make it a bit easier for me and maybe for you to see also, I made some visual aids to see where we're going. Right. There. It helps. So,
je hebt onze banners ervoor gebruikt. Nou, je hebt er gewoon opgeplakt.
ja, maar ik heb er nog meer liggen, Alfred. So, from here, the first thing that you do is you leave your front foot in place and you step offline. And while you do that, you make a cut to the sternum of your partner. You bring it up above your head. You make a short cut. You make a long cut. And you see that we're weaving the line much more than we were before with the suburi. So the first step, you leave your front foot in place, roll over it, you step sideways. Above your head. And now it's 1 strike and 2 strikes. And to show you the aim where we're going at, I'll talk a bit louder now. The first one is going for the sternum. You bring it up above your head. The second target is the wrist. And the third target, the side of the head. So from the side, you can do this at your own pace again. You step off the line, strike to the sternum, above your head. I'm a bit limited in space here. Strike to the wrist, strike to the head. So from the front. And the first movement, we'll look into it later, it's the most difficult, where you go there. Strike. This is the full form for the attacking side. One last time, and then you can do it on your own. Here. And for each position, check that you're solid and in balance. Especially this one here, where you have it above your head. Cut. Cut. Yeah, at your own pace. On this one.
Alsjeblieft.
Okay, we'll look at the upper body first, so you have the movements straight. But to really do it in 4 steps, step a little bit offside. The first one is where you move over your front foot and offline. So when I'm actually starting, I've got a line here. When you start on the line, you move away. You move out of the attacker's cut. And while you do it, your bokken moves straight forward. I'm not sure how to show this properly, but it doesn't move back. It's not a big swing, but it's like a snap. You move forward and it's a boom. It goes in. You don't pull the point back, but it snaps in. And then you put your feet aside here. And this is really, just for now, it's a moment of rest. So go 1, 2, short cut, boom, long cut. The sternum above your head. Your base is very narrow. You got your feet together. Knees are bent, and from this, on the spot, you turn to make the cut. It's a very short cut. And then you get the long cut. Yeah? Once more. Alsjeblieft.
Alsjeblieft.
Arjan, hi, this is Eric. Good morning.
Goedemorgen.
Hi. I have a problem with if you slide with the left foot put enough power in the snap.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? Normally you
Yes.
use sort of
That's exactly the difficulty in this move.
yeah.
I'm going to show it. The next round, I'll show it on the close-up on the feet. Next, I can do it now. Can you put my feet up, Michael?
Sure.
I'll do it under an angle now. So what is happening is you want to move both a little bit in. I want to move forward, and I want to move away from the line of attack. So I need to have kind of a double motion. I need to enter a little bit of enemy sense and offline. So your knee is very important in this case. If your knee is kind of stiff, or if your ankle doesn't want to move, you have the feeling that you might want to move your foot to allow a motion to the side. But what is happening is you're kind of redirecting. So the first thing that happens is you move over your foot here until your weight is on your front foot, and then you get enough impetus to move to the side. So do this very slowly, because this really is the most difficult move in the entire exercise, where you move. Your feeling is first that you move into your partner, then you move out to the side. But your front foot is stable. Your front foot is not moving there. And the feeling of the snap, what Eric was just asking, is in this movement, it's the moment that you move to the side, and this you don't see right now, but there's the moment that you plant your front foot, that you plant this foot, there's the space to do the snap. So you move over your front foot to the side, boom, there.
Yeah, okay. I
Yeah?
understand.
Nice one. Okay, so this high position, when you lift them above your head, it's a position that you don't see in many spots in Aikido. So from here, move a bit to the side, and you step. This is the step to the sternum, and now your left foot stays in place. Your right foot joins. So this is the moment where your right foot joins your left foot, and at that moment you lift your bokken above your head. So it's not already in a cutting position. It's really following your shoulders, your hips. That's what it's aiming at. And then in the next strike, boom, then you aim at your partner, and then you go into the strike. So the first one, to the sternum, and now your back foot joins the front foot, and the bokken gets raised over your head. And you can really check if you're in the correct position by just checking if you're following your shoulders and your hips. If those are aligned, you're correct. And your bokken is roughly pointing at where your partner would be, but not my face, not my upper body. I just see it from the side of my head, the side of my eye, sorry. And then you turn in for the next cut and the final cut. So once from the back still, here, sternum, above my head. So my face is pointing that direction. Can you see that? Yes. My face is pointing there. My ken is pointing at my partner. At this moment I realign. there. Line there. So the last two strikes of the fifth symphony, the first part is really different. Anne-Joas. That's better, Catherine. Yeah. Yes, very nice. Okay, so we go to the receiving side. If you keep this form in your mind, because this is what is happening opposite of you now. I'll start quite far forward. What would happen now is your partner would be with you in Kamai. So he would be mirroring your position. You think you see an opening, so you start to raise your bokken. Your partner is aware, and that's where the strike to the sternum comes in. So this is where somebody would move offside and try to go for your sternum. I'm not waiting for that. I slide slightly back and I close the gap. So this is not a full cut. It's a slight opening. It's like an oh shit moment. You move back. Now your partner just moves to the side and has his can up high. And he's coming in for my front hand. So the next movement is back. Short block. Next movement. Final cut. So from here, as a kata we're doing it now, you raise your bokken just slightly that you would actually be able to see your belly button. And you slide back and you close it again. Now the next cut comes in from the side, so you block that. And the final strike comes in from, again, the other side. And this is a big cut there. Under an angle. You open a bit, you move back. You turn on the spot almost. Not on the spot, but a short step. Block to the right. And then a big, big final strike. Here, open. The cut comes under, so you move back. The next cut comes in above for the wrist. So you block that one. And the final strike comes in to the side of your head. And you block that. Yeah? Onegaishimasu. The receiving side of the third cut. José Luis, yo cambiar esa parte de Kumitachi ahora. So, el Kumitachi, esto. El Kumitachi, eres bien, ¿no? La otra parte. Sí, no tengo mucho lugar acá. Una vez más. So, when you're a beginner and you want to practice this form, it's important to understand just the basic motions and where the attacks are going to. So you raise your bokken, first attack is coming under to your middle, so you close the gap. The second attack is coming to your front wrist, so again, you close the gap. Third attack is coming to the side of your head, which is exposed. Close the gap, and this is the finishing strike. So if you're receiving this, it is center, attack on the right side, attack on the left side. And there's a wall. Now for the more advanced people, try not to lose yourself in the bokken itself. If you're going to be doing something with the blocks, it's still body movement, and the can still follows the body. So when you move, the body or the can stays the extension of your body. So for instance, with this short move here, I have the feeling that it's a relatively soft block. There's no power in there. There's no time for that. It's more putting it in place for the other to bounce off. And then the final one, again, it's the whole body moving into the final strike. So when you're in advance, go into the whole body feeling of the movement. Because the movements are not that complicated. It's really nice just to shift the focus on that. So this is a straight back, short turn, big turn. And for the beginners, really focus on the basic steps, because they will help you progress also when you go into partner exercise. A few more.
Oh.
Hi, Arjan.
Hi.
I have another question.
Yeah.
You do the oh shit moment, and then you move backwards, and then you do the like this. But before, how do you get from the block to the cut?
Say that again, because it's very hard to hear you now. A little bit closer to the microphone.
Sorry?
Talk a little bit closer to your microphone, because I can hardly hear you. How do you move from the oh shit moment to the?
Well, then you have the oh shit moment, then you have the block, and then you have to move from that block towards the cut. And then
You're on the wrong side here. Look,
Yeah, okay, I understand. Yeah.
So this is the oh shit moment here. First block is not here. First block is you move your feet. It's to the other side. So there's a step in there. And then you step to the other side again. So there's 2 steps. There's 1 slide and 2 steps. I'll show it in the feet. Can you move to the other camera, Michael? Yeah, super. So I'll do it, let's see, like this. So the first movement is the oh shit moment. You lift your bokken, and you move slightly back. The second one, the attack is coming from this side, so I need to move. So I move over my feet there. And the third one, cut to the left. So the first movement is just a small slide back. And now comes a difficult turn because it's going to be a quick attack. So you need to have a quick change. So while you can't see my hips, but while you move your hips, your back foot moves as well. Your back foot moves and you move over. And then you move to the other side.
My confusion is that the one who attacks stands with his right feet in front, but the one who receives the attack also is right foot forward. Is that correct?
Yeah.
The first motion. How am I going to show this? Hang on. I'll take another bokken. So if I'm here and I'm opening, my partner's coming in. He steps to that side and he's gonna stand where the handle is. So I'm gonna close. He pulls it above his head. I'm here. So I'm in the oh shit moment.
Arjan?
Yeah?
Shall we show it, Nick and I?
Yes, that will be a good one.
Okay. So I'm okay. Well, I'm wrong.
At this moment, they both have left foot forward. And with the next cut, they both have right foot forward.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, thank you.
Top guys, thank you. That's why it's good to have a look at sometimes. I see with the question that we're going well over time now, actually. So let me just show you what we've done now in a few steps. We started with the first body here. Basically, an exercise to marry the bokken and the bodies together. Next exercise was the fifth body, and this is an excellent one to practice at home. You can do it in one direction, you can move around the room. And for me, this is always a good exercise to focus on the feet, keep the feet relaxed, stable, responsive, and calm. Now, when you move into the Kumitachi, the attacking side goes under, above your head. One cut, two cuts. The receiving side goes small opening, close together. Attacker goes over his head. Small block, long block. This is something that you can practice as a full form, as a kata, You can just focus on the speed, or you can distill one motion out of it. My favorite motion is actually the first one, because I find it by far the most difficult. This one. And then land on your feet. I'd like to stop there because we're at 15 minutes now. So, are there any questions about today?
Arjan,
Yes.
is there any like optimum distance between the head and the bokken when we're in the first Kumitachi? When we go to the right, when you raise the bokken up above the head, I mean, could it be a little lower, a little higher, or is there any optimum level?
It's there. I think there is an optimum level, but it's a bit feeling-wise for me. This is more at the level, because if you would raise it too tight, obviously it would be on top of your head, which is not ideal.
Yeah.
That's too tight. If you raise it too high, there's a longer connection to your center, to the center of movement.
Okay.
So again, if you have to move quickly from there, which is the whole goal of the second motion, is to move as quickly as you can.
Okay.
You want it to have at the position where your shoulders are relaxed, where your arms are relaxed, and it is above your head. And depending on your own height and the length of your arms, it could be anywhere from just above to a little bit more.
Okay. Okay.
But you can definitely raise it too much, and of course you can definitely have it too cramped. But
if you keep it about forehead level but not jammed, like a little further, is it too a little not jammed? No. Like, okay, can you see me?
I can see you.
Okay, let's say boom boom. If it is here, is it bad, or is it better like this? If it is here,
it's not above your head.
Yeah. Okay, so this isn't good. It should be a bit higher.
Now look at this from the side. Although in front of the camera, it's here.
Okay.
So it's not here. It's here, and from there you move into a cut. But it's in front of you. Again, you have a longer distance to your center line. So you really want to load it up. From here, you have to cut. You want to load it up here. It's above you.
Okay.
So it's not in front. It's above.
Okay.
And then from here, because it's already aligned with your center line, you got a high speed cut coming out of it. But you can play around with it. You'll if you speed up a bit and slow down a bit, you'll feel which feels more comfortable and which feels more direct than the other.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question?
Yeah,
Yo quería decir algo.
How do you handle on your level the last cut, where you actually go back, but you have a forward energy to close? You know, the cut closes, but you move backwards.
With the blocks, you mean?
Sorry?
With the blocks, you mean, or?
Yeah, not the last cut.
The killing cut, yeah. The killing cut, the last one, I think.
How can you do that? For me, it is the. It is a sensation. It's not a mechanical thing. I'm looking up right because I see a big screen and I can see all your faces here. It's not a mechanical thing, because mechanically you move back, you stay in balance, and you make your cut. But energetically, constantly when you're receiving, you're trying to be on top of your partner. You try to be on top of your partner. The same as with the attacking side, that you're always looking for moments in. You're trying to look for moments in. You're trying to put pressure on your partner. The same pressure you keep having back at your partner when you're receiving it. And so the first one, even though you're moving back, you can still have a sensation of being close and connected to your partner. It's not that you're retreating. It's completely different sensations. So you can move back but stay in contact. This one, same thing. It's also kind of an oh shit moment where you need to be really quick, but still you can be in touch. With this one, where they come around with a big killing blow, if you get pushed back energetically, there's no way of doing a proper blow, proper cut, because you'll feel overwhelmed. But the moment that they need to start coming in, and this is what Awasa practice is for me, you don't only match the speed, you don't only match the power in there, that you also match the energy that's in there. So there's somebody coming in trying to strike you down, and within the same moment, you have the same feeling. So physically, you move back, but energetically, you stay forward, you stay with them. You want to be inside, you want to be in. Is that a bit of an answer for you?
Yeah, thanks.
It's difficult to, I mean, I can feel what I'm doing when I'm doing it, but it's not a mechanical thing. It's really a sensation.
Luis.
Yeah.
José
Any
Luis.
other question?
José Luis.
Sí, yo quería saber, Arjan, si en el último movimiento modificas el peso del pie, el que retrocede, modificas el peso del pie o sobre el mismo pie cambias la cadera y vas hacia atrás.
José Luis, dilo en dos partes, por favor.
Sí, quería saber si en el último movimiento que acaba de hacer modifica el pie, o sea, lo mueve o simplemente lo deja en su sitio y retrocede hacia atrás sobre el peso en el pie derecho.
A ver, ¿quieres decir que le pregunte que en el último movimiento...
Así to English.
Sí, ¿me entiendes? Do you understand it?
Yes, I think I understood. He was asking on the last moment when you move back, how do you adjust the position, the distance of the feet?
Whether the foot stays in place or whether you change the back foot as you make the last cut. Does the foot stay in place or do you adjust it? Do you adjust the weight? I show the feet maybe is better.
I keep it in place.
Yeah.
So first cut, second cut. Now when you move back, when you move back from this one here, boom, there. So the moment it lands, if that's the question, the moment it lands, boom, it stays where it is. And it depends a little bit on when you do I mean, right now, as kata, I would leave it where it is. The moment that you do it with a partner, you have to decide about distancing, whether you want to do an actual killing blow aimed at the head, so you have to come in a little bit, whether you want to keep a very safe distance, or whether you want to be on the wrist, and then you can play around with the distance again. But for the kata, just the way I'm trying to share it now, I would keep it like this. Just the moment that you move back from here, the moment that you move back, boom, that you really load your whole weight comes into your back foot.
Ahora parte trasera.
Your back foot, cut.
Parte trasera.
See?
Sí.
Yep.
Arjan,
Yeah.
the attacking side, the first, the blow to the sternum, I realized that I'm doing it more like this instead of like this. Because I feel this is more stronger for me, but it's maybe just because I'm not used to do it more horizontal. Would you say it's a weak attack if I do it in this way?
The reason why I do it horizontal is this: when you step out and when you move over here, you're physically stepping out. So your front hand has a tendency wanting to go there. And that's actually the motion that I'm using for the snap. So when I'm just following and I leave the other hand where it is, that's kind of what's happening. To keep the point up, I need to change the geometry of my upper body here a bit. So my right hand stays at the level where it's at, and the left hand moves out. That's the way I do it, huh? So you have to feel for yourself where you can generate more power in the strike. But for me, it's here, and then it's immediately aligned also with the cut. So that's what I like about this way of doing it. At the moment when you have it here horizontal, it's immediately in line with this. It makes sense for me. If I would do it here, it feels like I'm missing a little bit of range that I would have here. It gives me another 15 centimeters or so in distance that I can cover with the strike. Let's see, can you see it like this? Do it like this. Like horizontal, I can actually reach it. But it's also, oh, there's a dent. It's also a distance thing.
Yeah.
I feel that here, boom, I can really put my body, my spiraling motion boom, into this cut, and then it comes up. When I do the other one here, it's a little bit more like a sword strike.
Yeah.
But it goes down the sword strike, and then I need to come up. So it feels not as neat a fit as the other one. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it feels, my way feels better.
Okay. Thanks. And then
Oh, yeah.
second question, sorry.
Yeah.
The first movement on the other side, on the Kumitachi side, is it just a straight cut down, or like collapsing, protecting your belly kind of cut?
Which one again?
The first one.
On the receiving one. Yeah, it's just you basically you just pull your sword straight down again. So it's not a typical cut where you have to feel going up and going down because there's no time. The intention that you have here, and this is really for the advanced people, but the intention that you have here is you're both in equal positions, the attacker and the defender. And there's no opening. So the opening has to be mental. So if your partner on the other side starts to sort of fade away, that's the moment where you feel that you might be able to come in. And the moment that you're doing that and your partner is not asleep but is widely awake, there's only one opening, which is just below the weapon that are just opened. So what you do is the moment that you want to come in and you feel that your partner is moving into the cycle, you just drop and your hips drop, your system drops into it, and this drops, but it's not the same feeling it's actually as a cut. There's just no time for it. If this would be an attack with a steel sword, you would be able to maybe generate just enough power to break a steel sword because it's sideways and it's very easy to damage. But it's not a block. It's not intended to be a block. It's just closing the gap. And then because you're a bit too late. And then the second one to the wrist is again a very fast attack. So again, you can't do a full cut as we used to. It's too slow. So again, it's a quick turn. And the final one where he has to come all the way around, it's a big turn, it's a big powerful cut. That's where you have enough time and space to generate good sword cut. So the first two are kind of, I'm in trouble movements, and the third one is now I'm back in control again. Yeah?
Thanks.
Now here's one.